모든 경기장 도시형.
All right, here we are, guys. It's Darkness Falls, and down at the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have our blue Protoss player hailing from Team Prime. That is Classic. And his opponent here in the top right-hand corner, your recent winner of the MLG EU Invitational, as a matter of fact, is none other than Liquid Ret, our red Zerg player.
Yep, it's a great Zerg player. Loves to play a very macro-oriented style. And so this is going to be a pretty good map for him. It is loser picks, I believe. So
yes.
Yep. So Ret did choose this map.
Yeah, he had a couple of interesting choices at his disposal still, but it's nice to see that the new maps are being utilized. As a matter of fact, as we've had most of the matches so far. The new maps have actually been chosen before a lot of the old tournament standbys.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, maps like Shattered Temple and things like that don't get seen that much unless it's a map or a situation where a race thinks they'll have a certain advantage by picking the map. So
yeah, we haven't seen Terminus yet or anything like that as well. So, but here we are, guys. Now the setting for game number 8. This is a quite large map, but fun because of multiple attack paths and just one Xel'Naga tower. And the fact that there's no gold bases, so yep, we'll see. Of course, Ret is widely known for playing the game of drones. He loves droning up as much as is humanly possible until he absolutely has to defend. And so we'll see if we get a similar style out of him in this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's known for sometimes over droning as well, so that's going to be something that Classic.Prime might want to take note of, see if he can take advantage of the fact that his opponent generally does play a bit more greedy than most Zerg players do. So we'll have to see. Oh, doesn't stop the hatchery from going down, though. Nice job with Ret distracting that probe with the drone.
And we'll see if that probe decides to come back for a little bit of shenanigans or what he's going to do. Looks like Ret was already prepared for that possibility, though, as he has a drone rallied in to go ahead and try and take out this probe.
Yep. It's that great drone attack noise, like the sound of a trout thrown against the side of a barn.
Yeah, a little bit gross, but I love it.
Yep.
Very distinctive. So, probe coming back now, and Ret will see that once again did, I think, walk close enough to be able to check it out. And Classic, I'm sorry, is going ahead and putting up a photon cannon now.
What if there was a Prime?
A Prime?
Prime.
Double Prime.
Yep.
Prime squared. I'm done
Double Prime.
I'm done with intense Prime names. Double Prime.
Optimus Prime.
Yes.
Oh wait. It's already done.
That's just Marine King now.
Yeah. No, it was Pole.
It was?
Well, now it's technically.
I guess,
technically, you have to win a GSL to take the moniker Optimus Prime in the Prime clan.
Yeah.
So.
You do have to win. I
Not
thought
Marine
it was
King yet.
People had told me it was just whoever was the top performer, but that's interesting to know. So
yeah, nope, you have to win.
All right. Well, a photon cannon is there, and this is actually the same wall configuration, of course, mirrored that we saw on Tal'Dorei Malta. Look at that, even down to using the photon cannon as part of that wall.
Interesting. All right, so Classic.Prime just appearing to like to wall off that way. Not really a classic way of walling off, but maybe a Prime one. Prime example.
Oh, God.
I gotta stop.
Oh, man.
I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Stop me.
That's. I will.
I'm not gonna go into the quoting the mask now. Oh, that movie.
Hey, look, it's a third base for Ret. He's
Yeah.
putting up another hatchery.
Yep, doing that very typical like we saw in Daybreak, getting those 3 hatcheries up before gas. Now you can see he is double gassing to try to make up for not having the gas early on, but it's a good way to get that third base without really worrying about having a lot of pressure from the Zerg player.
Yeah.
Or from the Protoss player, rather.
Fun fact about Doa, easily distractible. You just point out something he can analyze in a StarCraft game, and his attention just wildly switches to that. So.
It does. It's true.
Yes. I use that to my advantage quite often. But,
Aha. Now I know. You can't do that anymore now.
Hey, look, 7 more drones coming up now for Ret.
Wow. Well, that is something Ret does like to do. We have talked about him being a player that likes to drone a lot.
Yes.
So he's making drones.
Yes,
there.
That is true.
Doesn't take a Artosis to analyze that.
Well, there we go. But he's up to 41 at the moment. 2 more gas coming down for old Classic, and he is producing a good number of sentries behind this, but has not started any sort of a weapons upgrade quite yet.
Yeah. Is he going to lose an Overlord to a sentry? That's a bit embarrassing sometimes.
He's being tickled to death.
Oh,
that's no good.
Can he go farther?
Oh, he's trying.
So close.
Get out of there!
Oh, there's no room.
Wow.
Oh, the world ends there, and literally the life ends there for the Overlord. But
Tickle Beam is just too strong for Ret to hold, unfortunately. And he did produce a few defensive links now, sending those out for map control purposes at the moment, chasing down this probe with just one of those, though.
Yep.
And let's see here. Twilight Council coming up with an additional 3 gateways. So,
well, we could certainly see some blink play, like we saw Creator.Prime try to do. And there's some other options as well, so we'll have to see what Classic.Prime has planned for that. Roach weren't on the way for Ret, though, so
yeah.
Might go into that heavier Roach play. He's got the lair on the way as well, so if he puts down an Evo Chamber or two, he'll be able to get a good amount of upgrades going for that. Does he already have the Evo Chamber?
No, I was just checking.
Okay, there
for
it
that.
is. Starting those now. All right. I was wondering when he was going to get that going.
Just one of them for now as a few slowlings make their way out on the map. And Classic, a few sentries built up back at home, but he hasn't built a ton of stuff. Even going into the same hallucination and things like that that he did last game.
Playing very similar. Interesting.
Yeah,
okay, only without the double Phoenix.
Without the double
a little bit of a difference there. But
slight. Very small. And nice job not taking any losses there and picking off a few lings. One force field is coaxed out, but Ret now has Roaches and Roach Speed and Burrow and +1 missile attacks all coming out at once.
Yep, Burrowed Roaches are still quite good in this matchup. A lot of times Protoss might skimp on getting any sort of detection, so you can use that to just make your units last a lot longer. I mean, obviously they'll regenerate when they are burrowed, and if you get burrowed movement, you can sometimes sneak in and kill some things at a third, for example, or just kind of go under force field. So there's a lot you can use it with. It's got a lot of utility in this matchup.
Well, Ret already has 69 drones at the moment, so both these players have spent a lot of time producing workers, but of course Ret, being Classic Ret now, his +1 attacks and
Classic
upgrades
Ret.
are a little... It is Classic. Oh, I need to quit with just ever saying Classic or Prime, ever.
Classic Ret versus Classic Prime. Hey, look at, if you look at the Roach Warren, while there's a Roach upgrade going, the little Roach guy pops out.
Yes, he does.
There he is.
There he is.
Popping out.
Right there.
There's a Roach guy inside there.
And there's a hallucinated Phoenix, but doesn't look like Ret is going to change up what he's doing right now. I'm sure he watched the game with his teammate TLO just a second ago, but he's not seen any sort of Stargate play.
He is going Spire, though.
Yes, he is.
But this strikes me as more of the Spire you would use to make Corruptors and then later Broodlords. I don't think this is going to be Mutalisks from Ret. It's not a good map for it, and he's already spent a lot of resources on Roaches as well. So,
well, he's got a pretty powerful army making its way out, as a matter of fact. Yes, there are some Blink Stalkers there, but it looks like he's going to send some units around and try and do a two-pronged attack.
Yep.
All right, a couple more gateways morphing into warp gates at the moment. Nice job picking off this pylon up at the top. Does not look like Classic wants to engage quite yet. Ling's being flooded in behind as well, and Ret is going to go for it, making his way up the front and the back as well, forcing a lot of force fields out at the moment. No more photon cannons there at the front. A nice burrow because there is no detection to be had. Liquid Ret popping up right back once he has all of the health regenerated on those Roaches.
Yep. That's right, he can do that for quite a while, too, as he takes out units from Classic Prime. Good force fields, though, preventing a lot of those Roaches from getting in there and doing the damage that they want to, and Ret looks like he needs to fall back.
Ret's macro, of course, fantastic, though. He's still up to 150 supply, even after suffering quite a few losses. And, you know, Classic is making an Observer right away, along with +2 weapons.
Ret is going for Mutalisks.
Yes,
All right,
he
so he
is.
thinks he can make it work. He's got his opponent distracted with this attack here, and he's going to come in with Mutas soon. And this attack is doing a good amount of damage as it is.
Yeah, he's going through the photon cannons once again. The Zergling's taking quite a bit of damage as the Roaches just kind of filter around the side. Classic looks like he's keeping most of his Stalkers alive, though. Pretty good control out of those. Nice job blinking up. And because of the warp gates, they're not too exposed either.
Yep, he's got an Observer on the way as well, so the burrow really won't be very useful for Ret anymore at this point. And so he is going Mutalisks. All right, so we'll have to see how he does with it. I mean, it's not a map like Tal'Darim where you can kind of bounce between the bases quite as easily. There's not, as we saw, there's not as much room to fly behind the bases as there is on that map as well. But, you know, with good control, you can still do a lot of harassment with Mutalisks. You can still do a good amount of damage.
Well, let's see here. How many mutas does he have? 15 with a 16th on the way. He's got +1 attacks coming up as well. And now more and more mutas being poured on. So they are revealed, however. Blink Stalkers make their way out. Oh, this is a pretty good trap for Ret, though, as he is able to engage those Stalkers. There's the Blink onto the high ground, but the set off to the side did die. Ret still maintaining a 45 supply advantage. There's another round of 11 drones. He'll be on 87 here in a second.
Wow, yeah. Really, really droning like mad, and he's got that 4th base going too now. Ret looking in great shape here. He's 60 supply ahead, too. Yeah. I think Classic.Prime is actually in an almost unwinnable situation here, unless Ret makes a huge mistake.
Well, Ret's doing a pretty good job so far. There's no Templar up or anything like that. A crudely drawn smiley face there in the middle with the roaches, but a couple of mutalisks do end up dying, but enough damage done, it appears, for Ret. He's got more drones coming up. He's going to be at 93 here in a second. Continuing to flood in those mutalisk numbers, yes. No more upgrades coming quite yet, but still pretty powerful group of mutalisks flying overhead.
Here he goes. He's going to move in with roaches and mutalisks. It looks like, oh, force field's not the best for Classic.Prime, requiring a few extra ones, and that is just so many mutalisks, even with Blink. I don't know if Ret... Well, it's barely not going to be enough. Yeah.
Zealots were on hold position the entire fight there. They are pacifists, but...
I would be against mutalisks, too.
Yeah,
Can't blame them.
They didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
All right. Baneling Nest coming up now for Rats, as he is going to try and swing back in. Once again, pick off pylons, stuff like that. There's the blink up onto the high ground, and it's going to force Ret to retreat. And takes a little bit more damage, but no more losses at 185 supply now. With the 8 additional mutas, now 3 more, he's going to have 26 on the field. Just +1 weapons, though. No Carapace or level 2 upgrades on the way.
Yeah, Classic.Prime does have the upgrade advantage, and he does have 3 bases, too. So, oh, nice warp in at the main there of Ret, just kind of causing some distraction, causing Ret to lose some mineral time, possibly a few drones. But the thing with Classic.Prime is that, well, he's going to lose that Warp Prism, but also that he's catching up, you know, and he's on 3 bases. So he's got a chance of just maxing out, making that big death ball, and then trying just one sort of big desperation push across the map that's going to be very difficult for Ret to deal with if he continues to be very mutalisk heavy.
Yeah, Ret hasn't really dealt with many of the forces on the ground, just instead harassing, picking off a few units here and there, trying to break down buildings. But now 200 supply to 140, so Ret deciding that this Ling Roach, and mostly mutalisk as a matter of fact, as there are 32 of them on the ground, or rather in the air, are going to make their way out. Still no Templar Archives quite yet. It hasn't even finished.
Yeah, Storm's going to be a long way away, so these mutas are going to be able to do some decent damage. That's a lot of Blink Stalkers, but is it enough? I mean, there's so many mutas from Ret, he might just be able to power through this.
Oh, now the Blink Stalker's blinking up on top, and a lot of mutas are starting to fall. He has lost 9 in that engagement. As you can see, plenty others are very, very injured as well.
It's looking like a Skittles group now, all the colors of the rainbow. Nice little counterattack with the roaches here.
Yeah. Let's see, the Blink Stalkers are still in position to drive off the muta, so no damage done there, but Ret is picking up a few more workers over at the 3rd. Oh, blink up once again, yet more mutas going down, now just 16. He has half the number he had a second ago. Baneling's speed is finishing up at the moment, as there's 2 more hatcheries on the way for Ret.
Well, you can see the difficulty with going mutalisks on this map. It's really tough to find a place where you can do damage. I mean, it's so easy for the Protoss to respond and get his units there in time before he can do, you know, before he can cause significant losses. TLO just disgusted, leaves the game.
I'm out of here, guys.
Yep.
And one more mutalist does
Genro
go
as
down.
well.
Second almost fell, as they're silently crying as the mutalists die.
Everybody's just leaving.
Yeah, everyone is. Team manager as well for Liquid. But anyway. Oh, wow. 4 DTs making their way out on the right-hand side. There is a Spore Crawler ready, though, with a couple of Spine Crawlers. Oh, actually, those DTs revealing themselves, trying to swipe at a few drones there. Ret doesn't have any detection at these ancillary bases.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like there may have been a little bit of lag there as well.
Yeah.
I think they might have been playing, what, Europe to Korea or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that hatchery is not long for this world.
+3 DTs. You are so beastly. That is just a staggering amount of damage being done each swing. And the Broodlings don't even know where to go.
Yeah,
they're just
like,
going to die.
I'm just going to die here, I guess. Oh, well.
All right. Oh, wow. Ling Baneling muta to the max now for Rets, as he has 92 Lings on the field, running past those DTs at the moment, as a matter of fact. One is going to get killed. A second down here at the bottom right, but not doing any damage to the hatchery quite yet.
Yes, could do pretty well. Oh, that's a lucky, well, it was a lucky stalker, not anymore. But Storm on the way now for Classic.Prime, and if Storm finishes, oh man, that's a lot of Banelings. But if Storm finishes, he might be able to handle them. Yeah. But DT is like, I'm not even going to get involved in that, man. I'm out of here.
Well, let's see how many Banelings are coming in. 26 in addition to the 21 on the field. That's quite a bit. Oh, wow. Warp Prism coming back now for Classic as well. Looks like Ret is reacting to this and moving out with his Mutalisk, which have grown quite large in number once again. So he will eventually deal with that. A few Zerglings up at the front are taken care of, and the Banelings are starting to roll back.
And Classic.Prime has his 4th, and he's not quite maxed out. He's still 40 supply away from that. So he's in a bit of a tight spot. I mean, if Ret attacks here before Storm finishes, which it looks like he's going to do, then Classic.Prime could be in a bit of trouble.
And here it is, banking resources now for Ret, and he's just going to power his way through, taking a little bit of damage with the Mutas. He's got the Banelings coming in behind. Force Field's forced to be used right now, pretty good. Actually driving off a lot of those units. Oh, if he had Storm there on top of that, that would have been a lot of dead Banelings.
Yeah, as it is, great force fields for Classic.Prime. And Ret's answer is, well, I just obviously need more Banelings.
He's going to have 82 in a second. 82!
Why not? Yep, and Infestation Pit on the way as well. So once the Infestors come out, he can hold those Stalkers in place and nail them with the Banelings. So that might work out pretty well. Oh, nice force fields. Oh, great storms. That is what he was looking for. Yeah, now Ret's got to be like, oh boy, I may have miscalculated here.
22 Banelings actually went down there. 28 as a matter of fact, but now the Banelings are starting to roll their way through. Pretty good blink split, if you want to call it that, for Classic.Prime. But he has lost so much supply, and he's just not reproducing it at the moment, whereas Ret was producing 75 lings at a time there.
Yeah, that might be just enough for Classic.Prime. He didn't really have a lot of Templar. And wow, Classic.Prime down by 100 supply right now. Things looking okay for Liquid Ret.
But did lose a lot of value in that engagement, but he's reproducing it very quickly.
Well, he spent so much on those Banelings, just spent an insane amount on all that, and didn't really get a huge payoff. If you buy that many Banelings, you want to win the game with that. You know, if you don't, you've just lost a lot of gas without really doing a whole lot. Yeah, he killed most of the army, but he didn't kill any workers. He didn't stop any of the economy. So I don't know. I mean, Ret still should be a little bit worried here in this.
Yeah, but this is actually pretty good as he's forcing so many Blink Stalkers back now for Classic. And Classic's income rate was just not great during all of this. He is now finally mining off of his 4th, but these Mutalisks are able to pick things apart. And there's some Templar. No Storms hitting quite yet. One may even get picked off, not being offered up as bait either. There's the Storms hitting, but those Mutas get away without taking a ton of damage.
Only one of those at decent life, though, now. So Ret's Mutalisk count is dwindling, replacing it with largely Zerglings here, too.
Yes.
All right.
And he does have a lot of those Zerglings on the field. Adrenal Glands, Greater Spire, and 3-3 coming up all at the same time. That's a pretty staggering amount of Lings and Banelings in the middle, though.
He's going for it, and this may be the death blow for Classic.Prime. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive this.
Well, we'll find out. See if he has any Storms at his disposal here in a bit. The Mutalisks were actually the first thing to start to get targeted down, but there's so many Zerglings flooding in from behind. Now Fungal Growth's catching a couple of units as well. The Storm actually hits a lot of Zerglings, but doesn't hit many of the Banelings at all, and the Banelings are the real damage dealers here.
Yep. And wow, he targeted the Nexus and tried to kill that. Still gets it, but used a lot of his Banelings to do it.
Yeah.
Still, he's just so far ahead now. I think Ret, at this point, on the number of bases that he has, can kind of just coast to victory.
Yeah, I mean, just the way he's reproducing his units is staggering. 84 Lings being produced, 94 Lings, 100! Yes, he had triple-digit Lings being produced at a time. Sounded like the count there, but it was totally worth it. As High Templar goes down, GG is called, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 4-4, heading into game number 9 of this best of 9.